feel like it was a difficult transition going into someplace like Olathe, where it's like we know a lot of racism out there?
I actually think, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I think, this is what I think. So when we first moved here, we were actually in KCK, like in the city in the 30s. So like I went to Eisenhower, with all, the black kids. Like we went there. Then up until like my freshman year, my sophomore year, we moved out in the suburbs. And then after I graduated, they moved to Overland Park. So it's like Overland Park, Olathe is like, that's where the racism is, like no, like not, you don't see very many like white kids, coming to the city, to go to like all the, Washington, Schlegel, you don't see the white kids doing that. They all out in the suburbs. So it's like, it's crazy because I have a coworker and she was just telling me like her daughter is like basically the same color as me and went to the same school as my brother and was dealing with the same racism, and she had to be pulled out the school and sent to another school. So it's like, it's a lot of red flags, to be honest, because not very many people speak up about the racism, and it's like, if they do, they get the school gets a smack on the wrist, and it goes on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's gonna keep going, and it's weird.
And I know that we had talked to a number of students who said that the police officer who was involved in the incident had a number of students report him for making racist comments or being racist towards black students. Had you heard anything about that?
I haven't, honestly. I'm not gonna hold you. When the whole situation went down, when like the situation went down and like Fox 4, like everybody, they was in the comments, rah 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 talking. I was in the comments and I was in the comments talking back to the people in the comments. I ain't gonna hold you. And then after that, my Facebook page, it got blocked, so I wasn't on any type of social media looking at anything. But I do know that people were messaging me, asking me like, "Are you okay? Is your brother okay?" Like Jalen was a friend of mine. He was goofy, he was funny, stuff like that.
So you feel like the way that the media portrayed what happened was racist, or you feel like?
Yeah, I do. I do. I really do, because I feel like the SRO officer, I read that he was an officer, like he's an officer off duty. So I'm pretty sure that officers, they wear little cameras, right? So I feel like it should have been cameras everywhere. Like they're saying, oh, where Jalen allegedly fired off this such and such many shots, but it's like, okay, y'all, it's really a lot of he say, she say, but like, where is the camera? Like, do y'all not have cameras in the building? Do y'all not have cameras on your suit? Like, like it's just really weird. I keep saying weird.
Nah, for sure though. It's like that's what I was thinking too. Like, do you as far as like the whole situation, how it actually played out? Because I mean, like everybody knows like Jalen brought a gun to school,
and that's another thing I want to touch on. I didn't mean to do all that, but that's another thing I want to touch on. Is that my brother? Y'all ain't got to put this in there. Well, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, my thing is, like I was saying before, when people carry guns, they carry guns to protect themselves, right? All right, so my thing is, the type of gun that my brother was carrying, it's not the type of gun that you would carry to shoot up a school. So it's just like, and my brother, he had been carrying a gun around. So if you at school from 7 a.m. all the way up to 12 p.m., you got this much time as soon as you come to school to air the place out if you want. You know what I'm saying? So the way the headlines are spinning it, like my brother was a school shooter, is not the real. There was no school shooter. He didn't shoot up a school. There was a shooting that occurred in the administrator's office.
Right.
And with that shooting that occurred in the administrator's office, do you feel like, from all the facts kind of that have come out from the case, do you feel like the school could have, do you feel like they escalated the situation after they found out?
I definitely
Or
do.
do you feel like they...
Because the school is already racist, so they gonna do anything to, you know, put you under them. I just feel like they just gonna do anything to put you under. Like, any little thing they can do to, like, tick you off to get your reaction. And, I don't know. My brother, I'm not gonna say he's a bad person, because he's not a bad person. It's just that we got some fucked up attitudes. I ain't mean to cuss, but we got some messed up attitudes. So, like, I can see, I can actually picture them, like, you know, bothering, like, ticking with my brother. And when they said that, like, he allegedly fired off that many shots, I just don't believe that. I honestly feel like the administrator put him in the office, and my brother was like, no, he's not going to show, like, no. He said no. And then the administrator left to go get the little officer. And then I guess when the officer came back, my brother decided to display the gun. And I guess, you know, like every other officer, you shoot now, ask later. That's what I feel like happened.
Definitely. You think how the situation, like, was presented, like, Jalen was pulled out of class, or I can't remember exactly how they said, but he was pulled out and taken to the office, and then they said that shots were fired after that. And how the situation played out make it seem like Jalen was the one that shot first.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been no video to come out to see who was the actual aggressor really
Yeah.
in the situation.
It's just a lot of he say, she say. But again, it's like, it's basically they word against my brother's word. Like, only 3 people can really tell the story, and it's crazy. It's really crazy. And then it's like, it's crazy. It's like, my brother, he let off these shots, but y'all two, I'm assuming y'all got grazed and was released the same day from the hospital. Meanwhile, my brother been in the hospital for almost over 2 months, going on 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he let off this many shots. Nobody was even, you know. Meanwhile, he on here laying in the hospital bed. It's crazy.
Does that make you question their story at all?
It definitely does. I'm not gonna hold you. It definitely does, because I personally, actually, I've met with the principal with my mom before, because they, like I said, tried to, you know, get my sister and brother to, you know, leave the school. And I personally feel like it's just not right. Like, they story, like, 1 minute it was this, next minute it was just a lot of not adding up, you know?
And to me, one of the parts of the story that's missing is that Jalen was a legal gun owner, because what people are calling ghost guns aren't actually illegal. Those aren't illegal weapons to have. So. And
also, if you in Kansas, you don't have to have a license to conceal, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so, like, of course on campus, but there is a very much a possibility that he didn't even intend to bring it onto campus that day, or that he maybe left it in his backpack on accident or something like that.
Mhm.
So I feel like, to me, that's one of the big pieces of the conversation, is that he was 18.
Mhm.
He's a legal gun owner in the state of Kansas. Ghost guns are not illegal. And so to me, that is just a big, in terms of how the media is also portraying this, how the school administrators, the police are portraying it. It kind of seems like they're
like he's a big threat or something. Yeah.
Because it's like simple facts, I feel like, that like lets everybody know, like we know from how the situation has actually played out in real life, you know, there's all these reports going around, but what actually may have happened in the office, allegedly, Jalen is the one who shot first, which is actually a big point in the whole case. But I feel like we actually know that Jalen was compliant with them because if he had the gun the whole time. He brought it to school. Information had got out that he had it, and the administration came and got Jalen from class, you know, from the rest of the general population of students, separated him, and then whatever happened after that, he was compliant up until the point where the officer had to come into the situation and try to actually de-escalate the situation, and that proved to not be possible, I guess. So like that's when I feel like why everybody is like asking the question of like what really happened and why can't we get a video and all that, because I mean it doesn't really seem like Jalen was not being compliant. It seems like he had a gun on school grounds, which is illegal, but at the same time the officer was maybe not able to handle the situation. So I mean, as I know you understand that too, because we already talked about that a little bit, like about that off camera. Like, of course, we all know that, like, because I feel like a lot of people keep saying no matter what, he can't bring a gun to school, like.
But like,
yeah,
motherfuckers bring knives to school, bats in their cars, you know, on school grounds. You know, they carrying little tasers and stuff, like. You know, that stuff not supposed to be on school grounds either, but people do it anyway, you know?
And it's like, it's not right, but at the same time, like, kids and people will do little stuff like that, and a gun is definitely, like, you know, one of the most dangerous stuff. But at the same time, it's like, how can you have a school resource officer at a school that can't actually, you know, use his own resources to de-escalate situations in a proper way, you know what I mean? Like, do you really want your kids around, like, at any moment they do anything, they're at threat of their life if they make a dumb, like, decision and bring a firecracker or something, who knows?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, how do you really feel, though, about that? Because I feel like your family is the one dealing with that the most, so, I mean, as far as a school resource officer, like, how do you basically, like, feel about how he handled the situation? Like,
I feel like he made an impulsive move. Like, it was a more so like a move without thinking, basically. You know, like, just quick to do stuff. I don't know.
So do you think your brother shot first?
No, I don't think so. I think the officer shot first because I feel like it's just so weird. Cause I can't, like, that's my brother, and like I'm not with him like 25/8, you know. So like I don't know what he be doing, but like I know what he be doing because he be telling me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't. You know, people don't tell you what they going through if they going through stuff, you know? So it's like, if he was going through something, he probably would have told me, but he probably wouldn't have told me. Why would you shoot the officer? You know, like, you know how, like, that's big. So it's like, you already in trouble for bringing the gun to school. Or, you know, you going to get in trouble for bringing the gun to school. You going to get in even more trouble, you know, for even, like, firing the shots. So I don't necessarily think that he shot first. I feel like the officer shot, you know, he pulling out the gun, trying to display, you know, you show him, and the officer seen that, you know, it felt like he was finna, you know, air the place out. And, you know, shots were, you know, exchanged.
And just from, I mean, you know your brother more than anybody. And just from knowing him for your whole life, and knowing his character, do you feel like what is being portrayed about him and just the whole situation, would you say that is just something that when you heard about it and the way that it's being portrayed as him being a school shooter, is that perception, is that to you just very much out of his character, or
Honestly, yes. Like, I'm not gonna even hold you. Like, when they said it was a shooting at the school, and they broadcasted it all on the news, and I went through every single comment, and I seen everybody say, "Oh, maybe it's a mental illness. Maybe da 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 this, or maybe he's depressed. It's something wrong, or." And then, oh, this is white people too. And then when they released, identified, put our address all out on the social media, put my brother face out there. It was, oh, he needs to rot in jail. He needs to yada yada this, yada yada that. I'm just like, y'all quick to flip the switch. At first he was, it was a mental illness. Now that y'all know that he black, it's something else. He need to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? He need to die. Y'all gonna do this and do that to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all reality, like, it's just weird. It's wild. It's weird for real. Like, how much racism we have to deal with in this type of world that we live in. Like, it like still shows that people still think that we are still like in the 60s and in the 40s. Like, people really still have nasty souls, and it's disgusting.
So you saw that like firsthand, where when
People harassing my mom, harassing my mom's business, harassing me, harassing, like, just all in our inbox, like, going crazy. It got to the point to where they found my brother's Facebook page, and they were just trolling, like, all up under his stuff. It got to the point to where he just got his Facebook page deleted recently.
So you kind of, from my kind of just looking at social media immediately in the aftermath, you saw that switch of people where they thought that the person was white, probably, or assumed that, because the thing is, another part of the conversation that most people are leaving out, school shooters are almost exclusively 100% white.
Exactly.
And so we have never...
We don't shoot up schools.
Exactly. And so whenever you saw that, whenever his face started getting put onto social media, you saw people kind of change their attitude from maybe he had a mental illness to he needs to rot in jail.
He needs to rot in jail. He needs to be put down. He needs to be murdered. It was disgusting. It kind of made me sick. I'm not gonna hold you. It was just like, ew, like, this the type of people that we have to, be with, live, like, and what's crazy is, I used to be on the dance team in high school, and this girl on my dance team, she really fixed her lips to say something about the situation, and I had to cuss her out about it, and she deleted her post. And sent nothing back.
And so it's people that you know personally.
Personally, yes.
Who knew him personally, who would just automatically believe.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because of the word. I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that the media is using the word school shooter.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And like they're not adding any complexity or like layers to try to understand the situation. As soon as people hear school shooter, it just automatically they think a whole different thing. And so people that you like knew or know, people who know Jalen, just completely threw out the window everything that they knew about him and his character and just believed. Mm-hmm. Because of this phrase that the media has been using.
And it's crazy because reading is very much fundamental. Like, I say that all the time. Like, obviously, y'all didn't do very much reading in high school or something because y'all just took a headline and just ran with it.
Is there
Free gang, man. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, is there anything else though you want to talk about, or like anything else you think you want to say for real? Because I mean, really, your voice is really strong to this. I feel like so. Like, I mean, like, you are a great testament to his character from anybody's point of view. So, I mean, like, what do you want to say about the situation or about Jalen? Like, anything?
I feel like to know my brother, you have to be around him. And, like, if you haven't been around him, then that really sucks because my brother is really a fun, loving person, and he's really funny and goofy like me. So it's like, it's weird. Like, for people to be out here and be so, like, judgmental, you know, it's crazy. And it's like, my brother, he wouldn't do anything to intentionally, you know, hurt anyone, you know? So it's like weird. I don't know, like, for them to be like, yeah, he did this or he did that. It's just weird. And he's so young. And it makes me sad, so. I'm okay. I'm not gonna cry.
Maybe one other thing I thought.
I also feel like they try to make it seem like he's not a regular person. Like he is a regular person. I feel like they make it seem like people don't make mistakes. And I don't like that either because nobody is perfect, you know? Everybody bleeds. Everybody, you know, we all come from the same, you know? Like, nobody is perfect. Everybody's going to make mistakes, you know? You live and you learn. It's a lesson. And it's just, people walk around here like they shit don't stink.
Yeah, I think that was something, too, to me, is like, say that he did bring the gun to school.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, hypothetically speaking, if he brought it to school, that to me, that is like reason to be expelled from school, maybe.
Yeah.
Or like reason to be suspended from school. But it's a completely different thing to shoot someone for bringing a gun to school and like trying to kill someone for trying to bring a gun. To me, that is where like the issue, like having a certain punishment, like to me the punishment.
Like they just skipped over what was supposed to happen. Like they just did what they wanted to do. You know, they feel like instead of like following the guidelines and the rules of the protocol how it's supposed to be, they just, you know, went with their own move and did what they wanted to do. Instead of trying to protect the school, they was thinking for themselves, trying to protect themselves. When my brother, he's not a threat. Like, they try to make it seem like just because he black, you know, he's a threat, he gonna do this, you know, he gonna shoot up the school, he gonna, you know, kill somebody or fight somebody, you know. But I'm not saying that my brother is perfect, you know, people make mistakes once again, but like, come on now. I feel like if it was a white person, he probably got a smack on the wrist and been walking out the next day. That's how I feel. It's not fair, but it's life. That's just that's the world that we live in. It's cruel, it's crazy, that's the world we're living in. So my friend, he like, see, text him, and if he texts back, you know, then it's not him. He in the clear. So I'm over here blowing my brother's phone. I'm like, you good? Like, you okay? Like, what you doing? You know, trying to like, you know. And then after that, my sister, she said to me, she like, yeah, somebody got shot. I'm like, oh my fucking gosh. So then I'm like, what the fuck? So I text my brother again. I'm like, and they even put this in the article. It's so much more. It's so much. They put that. I said, I told you not to have that gun. I told you not to bring that gun to school. Like, they try to, like, flip it like, you know, he was planning to. I'm like, nigga, what? Like, that's so weird. Yeah. So then, like, I left my friend's house, and I went to my other friend's house. So then, I had to get a whole new phone. So then, I guess they must have got a hold of my brother's phone. So then somebody texted me, and they like, is this Pam? I'm like, nah, this not Pam. Who is this? They like, this Doug. I'm like, I don't know nobody named Doug. So I'm like, off the bat, I'm like, yeah, I'm not replying. So then, after that happened, they steady texting like, you know Jalen? Do you know Jay? I'm like, who is this? You know, like, who is this? Like, no, I don't know. I'm like, what? So then, it's not even a couple hours. I say an hour passed by. I'm getting ready to go home. I'm talking about, I'm steady saying these cars like circle the block, like they like circling the block. So as soon as I'm getting ready to go home, all you see is the feds like pulling up on me, like swarming me, like in the car. They like hands up, get out of the car. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, these motherfuckers don't ping my phone. I'm like, they asking me like, you know what happened? Do you know what's going on? I'm like, I know just as much as y'all know. Because I'm finding out at the same time y'all finding out, I'm finding out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why y'all asking me this? Y'all need to do y'all job. I shouldn't have to come and do y'all job for y'all because I don't even know shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why y'all coming at me? But I understood, like, because I understand because of the text. It might come off as like I had something to do with it. But it was really just me, like, looking out for my brother because, like, at the end of the day, that's my baby brother. And I want nothing but the best for him, you know? So it's just like, for them to try to, like, flip it and switch it, make it seem like he was planning to do it when it really wasn't even that. It was just, media blows me.
So they pulled up on you where was you at your?
I was in my friend's house. I was in Casey Mo.
At the same day and same time?
Yes, like it was like, that shooting, all that happened, like, I want to say it happened around 11, 12 o'clock. I was still at my homegirl house, my friend house, and then I left her house and I went to my other friend house. This was like, I didn't get there till like probably like 1. I want to say 1. And I stayed there a couple hours. They didn't pull up on me till like 2, 3 o'clock.
How did they know where you were? You know?
I'm telling you, they pinged the little phone. They pinged it.
And they just found you.
Yes, I'm finna get ready to go. I'm like, yeah, I'm finna call. I was finna call my mama. I was finna tell her I'm finna come home. Because I was at my friend's house. And I'm like, damn, I don't even got no signal. Like, I didn't have no bars. None. I'm like, what the fuck? Apple Watch, no bars, nothing. Phone, no bars, nothing. Doug, he came, took my phone. He's like, can we go through your phone?
He took your phone?
Yes, he like, can I see your phone? I'm like, bro, what do you want my phone for? Like, you're not going to find anything in there because, you know, you're not going to find anything in there. Anything I want to talk about, I'll talk about it in person. You know what I'm saying? He like, can I go through your phone? You know, I'm like, for what? Like, what you want my phone for? He's like, I just want to see the text. I'm like, you see the messages in my brother's phone. Like, the same thing you see in his phone is what you see in my phone. He was like, well, your name isn't saved, blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
He
well,
said your name isn't what?
He said that my name wasn't saved in my brother's phone. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, the same thing that y'all know is what I know. I found out around the same time. This FBI putting up on me. I said the same thing y'all know is what I know. Like, it was weird. They was just weird.
Have you been able to talk to anybody too about footage or anything like that? Nobody's reached out to, or you haven't heard anything about that?
Besides my brother's lawyer, but
you talked to your brother's lawyer about it?
I'm just saying, like, my mama probably is talking to my brother's lawyer about it. But, you know, my mama, she not going to talk to me or my sister about it. But it's weird. I don't know. And then to be charged with attempted capital murder, like, come on. Let him would have been white.
And to you, definitely, I think, to a lot of people in the community, to you, to the students. I know there were students at the school saying "Free Jay" after this all happened.
Yeah.
It feels like a lynching to you, basically, like a modern day lynching almost of what's happening.
It's just so wild, cause I don't know. It's given shoot now, think later, ask later.
Yeah.
And then it's like attempted capital murder but like nobody was, you know, nobody died. Them niggas got grazed and got released the same day. Well, those people got grazed and released the same day. So it's just like, what? Who's really hurt here? You know what I'm saying?
How long was your brother in the hospital?
He just got out, I want to say Monday or Tuesday. Because he started calling me and my sister from jail Tuesday. So, yeah. He been in there since March. I want to say 3rd or 4th when the incident happened, and just got released a couple days ago.
And he was initially in critical condition. After
Yeah,
everything happened.
he was shot in the stomach and in the leg, and
So he was shot multiple times.
mhm. Oh, that's crazy. And his heart, he had to have surgery. Like when he had his surgery, his heart stopped twice, and then he had to have another surgery, which postponed, his court date. And then he has to have another surgery coming up. I don't know when it's going to be, but he has to have another surgery for the tubes in his stomach.
Do you think that there's a like, is it just crazy to you that the police officer and the other guy
Walking away with a
like,
pat on the back.
Not only that, but does it seem like a possibility to you that did they even actually get shot?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how y'all? It's just, I don't even. If they did get shot, it wasn't life threatening. You know what I'm saying? They getting released the same day. The SR officer getting a reward for what?
He was given a reward.
He's getting a reward for something. He's getting a reward.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I don't know. It's wild.
I think that's.
Any last thing? Shout out the gang. Who you gonna talk to? That's what people out, man.
Man, shout out to my mama, man. That's my road dog for real. Like, that's my honey bunches. That's really my baby for real. She a strong individual, man. Shout out to my friends that have been there for me. I love y'all forever. Shout out to the production back there. Free my brother, man. The long way. Love your life, gang.
Sure.